Hello. When we talk about 21st century, we always talk about the conflicts. How would the conflicts shape up in the 21st century of the world? Well, I always say that there are very less chances of having a conflict in terms of conventional war. Conventional warfare would hardly be used in the current world, as world has shifted itself from military power to the economic power. In the current scenarios, what we see is it's a sort of fifth generation warfare, and it's a sort of hybrid warfare where everything is being used to promote the narratives of a country. When I say promoting the narratives, I mean the stronger the narratives you have, your country would survive better in the current scenario in 21st century.
True.
Today I have with me a very senior journalist, international journalist, Shafiq Ahmad Saab. He's a very good friend of mine. He's sometimes he's my mentor, but very few times.
Of course not. You are a senior journalist also, please.
And we have always been talking about the 21st century and how the narratives can be promoted of a country in the 21st century. And we always talked about having English channels and how them English channels should be working and how important they are for any country, whether you are an English speaking country or not. English being a globalized language in the current scenario, you have to have English channels and you have to have proper mediums where you can promote your narratives, especially in the English language. Shafiq Saab, thank you very much for joining me today again. We already had a program in the past, and now today we had another chance. How are you?
Fine, doing very well. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you very much. And my first question to you is, what is the importance of English digital channels when we talk about promoting the narratives of a country?
It is extremely important, and the entire world has now realized, because initially there were some channels like BBC, they understood the importance of the narrative, so they have the network since long, like for the past 60, 70 years. Then CNN and some American TV, they started international news channels. So when I was kid, my father used to listen and watch BBC, or especially listen to the BBC, because my father wanted to know the actual details about the event happen around the world. Now the world realized, no, every country, they have their own channel, especially in English language. Come to Russia, like they have Russia Today, RT. They have Rusiya Al-Yom in Arabic. For the Arab viewers, they have the channel in other languages, but the most important is RT, Russia Today. I mean, nobody speak English in Russia, but they know the importance of the TV channel. That's why they have Russia Today. Same is the case with Iran. They have Press TV. Like they realize it is very important to have their own narrative. Like people should know the story or the importance of the story from Iranian perspective. So it is selling your own perspective, your own angle. France, I mean, in France, if you go to France, nobody will speak English at all. If they understand English, but they will not speak. But still they have France 24 English TV channel. The same is DWTV of Germany, like TRT of Turkey. Like Turkey, if you go to Turkey, nobody speak and understand English language. So how the narrative, especially in English language, is important. Like same is China's CGTN. Now they have multiple channels, like from documentaries, from the animal shows or focusing on animal world, and they have the news channel at the same time. So it is very important to have your own narrative. What I have observed in the past many years, like if you click on Google, like Google is now the teacher of everyone. If you Google, for example, to know something about Bhasha Dam. Do you know 70 to 80% written stuff, written material will appear written by Indians, not Pakistanis.
Very true.
If you just click, I'm asking everyone, just you talk about Chashma Barrage or Chashma. You write Chashma 1, Chashma 2 project, Chashma 3 project, 90% written material will be of India, from Indian perspective. So we have to have our own narrative, especially in English channel, because when you are writing, like journalist community, like those who have some concern, like think tank, if they want to write something, so they know the background. To understand the background, you have to Google something to get some detail. Whenever you get the details, it is always from the Indian perspective, unfortunately. So we are lacking this, and Pakistan government, they should realize, they must realize, to establish, to develop their own narrative, especially in English language.
Recently, very recently, I've been, I was part of one of the webinars, and there was National Security Advisor to Prime Minister of Pakistan, Moeed Yusuf, in that as well. And I suggested to him that what we see on YouTube plus the other modes of information, what happens is we never see something from the Pakistani side. There is very less number of people who are actually penetrating narratives in English. Majority of the people, they are entirely working in Urdu. Reason being, of course, they are looking for money, and their audiences, they are Pakistan-based audiences, or we can say that Western Indian-based audiences. So them audiences, they grab them money, and they are only doing it for money. But when it comes to countries' narratives, if you want the world to know about them, then you have to have them in English.
That is true.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
And you were very right about this, that countries like Germany, Russia, Spain and France, if you speak with them in English, they mind it.
They mind it, yes.
Country. Yeah, in their own country, when you talk English, they mind it. They expect you to be speaking their own language. And they hate each other. But at the same time, they hate English, but they have these channels just because they know the importance of these channels. Case with India is, they have so many English channels, and they are round the clock dropping their narratives on YouTube, on social media, elsewhere, everywhere. Yes, there are allegations against them that majority of the times, like 80 to 90% of their stories, especially specifically related to the region and regional politics, they're fake, and everyone says that. And what happens is, still they are pushing their narratives in there, and their narratives are being bought by the people.
Yes.
On YouTube, you would see that they'll be having millions of viewerships on their videos, and if there is some narrative coming from Pakistan in English, there won't be any, because there is no trend in Pakistan. And secondly, yes, Pakistan, created a channel. Couple of channels, they were started in Pakistan. You've been working. I've been lucky enough to work for both of them, so I know them very well. But I want you to tell me, where do them channels lack? I mean, one of them was Tribune 24/7. I worked for it when it started. I was one of the first employees of it, so it got shut down. And for reasons nobody knows. Secondly, we had Indus News. It started. I was part of it. You were part of it. But I would like to know from you, where did these channels lag behind, and why they are not being seen all over?
Look, when I joined for the first time in electronic media, I joined from Geo English. So I worked with them, and it was just in-house transmission for a couple of hours, and we used to work with them. The problem is that if the English channels are looking for advertisement, especially local advertisement, it is not possible. So commercially, it is not viable. So it need the government funding. But the entire world, different countries, they are funding their channels, especially like they have money for promoting the narrative. So if the state is funding some English TV channel, that is possible, and that is doable. But the plan is, what is my understanding? Like, once I was talking to one of my bosses, and I suggested to them that please hire some foreigners who are based in different countries. And the interesting thing is that if you hired a person from Germany or England or America, you can hire a person from $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Honestly speaking, I'm talking. So for example, if you are spending $30,000 or $40,000 on international main station, providing money to them, or spending money, $40,000, can you imagine here in Pakistan, even one Urdu anchor is getting that much money?
True, very true.
Like, instead of hiring 6, 7 foreigners, who's like some people in Pakistan, they may like the faces of the white Britishers or maybe some European, and they may be listening more to them. They may not be happy with the brown complexion like me and you. The problem is that the model they have, or the design they planned, what was not that much effective. The same is with the industrial television, which is still operational, and unfortunately it is a very bad design to operate the entire channel. Very bad design. And the same is the case with the PTV. Yes, and the PTV. I can give you example of PTV World. Like, I appear on TV channel. The bad design, the worst design. First of all, they have only 3 to 4 reporters, and they have more than 25 anchors. Can any professional journalist tell me what kind of design it is? You might not find this kind of design anywhere in the world, because journalism or media, electronic media, is based on a good reporting. Not on, yes, there are some programs.
Sadly, sorry to interrupt you. Sadly, I believe everyone wants to be an anchor nowadays. So what they do is they take PTV World as a launching pad.
That is true.
That's what
if you watch BBC, what I have seen, the BBC anchors, they also do reporting in the field.
They do?
Okay, so what is my understanding in PTV World, the English TV channel of the state-run English TV channel? Unfortunately, you will find very less number of professional journalists rather than the just the anchors. Like, they started their career from TV.
And there is no merit for that.
Absolutely no merit.
No merit at all.
I mean, I know that few of the journalists working with PTV World, they are a good writer. They are a journalist, by the way. But only on the fingertips. The remaining are, they can just talk on TV channels and nothing else. They don't know the background of the story because they have never worked. And they don't know about the technique of the story. The same is the problem with the Indus television. Like, we were expecting, when we joined this TV channel, we were expecting a lot of professionalism from those who joined this TV channel. But unfortunately,
but this is something we both can agree on. We didn't see that.
There's no professionalism, because let me tell you very like, how many reporters they have?
Now I think only one.
One reporter. How many anchors they have? Maybe 12, 13?
12, 13. So they are following the same pattern.
If there is any professional who is watching us and listening to us, can anyone tell me what kind of model it is? One reporter and the remaining are just, all of them are anchors? So how you can operate? Like people are not listening to you.
It's like, I tell you what. Recently, I met somebody and I suggested them. I said, if you really want PTV World to be successful, you have to have 5 to 6 excellent reporters, English reporters, whether they are from Pakistan or they are like British Pakistanis or whoever they are.
Yes.
Right?
It doesn't make any difference.
And you have to send them to the most important capitals of the world.
Yes, that is. Yes.
Send them to Washington DC, New York. Send them to Paris. Send them to London. Send them to Bonn.
Bonn, Belgium. This is all.
You can send them to Beijing as well.
Yes, why not?
So you have to have them there.
I'm telling you a very interesting story. Like, they are collecting. The government is collecting 100 rupees per house. Okay, So what is the exact collection of the government to run the Pakistan television? They have a lot of money.
They have.
But they don't know how to spend it correctly. Like I can give you a very good example. Once I was making a documentary. I was in need of some footages, so I went to the PTV long time ago. So I asked them, you are receiving footage from Reuters and AP, international news agencies. So can I get with a sound, like just not mute, because when you are making documentary, sound is very, very important.
Exactly. Even if it's of water or anything.
Anything. Okay, technically you understand. And you know what they say, the PTV people said, we are receiving all the footage in natural sounds, but we don't have a machine, or we immediately delayed the sound, so we are just receiving the mute footages. If technically they don't understand this small things, so how they can operate the entire TV channels? So they know nothing, by the way.
Let's be very fair. I think running an English channel, it's very hard for the private sector. So I must say that in this news, it would be hard for them. Talking about Tribune 24/7, it would be very hard for them. Why? Because private sector, the businessman is profit oriented.
Let me tell you.
He is not service oriented or something like that.
No, I differ with you, by the way. Let's say if Indus TV believe that they can get advertisement from the market, that is not possible. I agree with you. Okay. So, but now things are changing. Like you can put all these stuff on digital platforms.
Exactly.
So you can make money through digital platforms.
Social media platform.
Social media platform, YouTube, Facebook, everything is monetized.
Monetized.
So you know, or like if you're breaking something, the entire world is watching you. Like I can give you some example. Like currently media is in crisis, and all these main TV channels, they are saying that the number of their advertisement has been reduced, so they are unable to pay more money to the journalist community. But no news channel is talking about the money they are generating through social media platforms.
Exactly.
And you know, I got the record, for example, because it is very easy to get the record of YouTube.
Jio was the biggest earner.
Jio is the biggest earner. They are earning in dollars. Are they telling to the government?
Them dollars are in millions.
In millions, we should know about that. We should know that they are.
That's just from YouTube and social mediums.
I checked myself. It was in millions, not millions.
Exactly.
The earning in 2019.
True.
Okay, in millions, and even the government have no idea. The government did not talk about the money they are earning through social media platforms. So I mean, all these channels are viable once you know how to properly operate them. But if you don't have a design, if you don't have any model of running the TV channels, so you can't do anything. It's very unfortunate.
Like I said, content is the most important thing.
Content, yes.
If your content is not strong enough, people would not be watching you.
Of course, no.
And if you have hired, like I would talk about PTV, if you have hired people just because of their political affiliations, or just because somebody ran up the stage and literally said to Prime Minister that give me a job, otherwise I'll commit suicide or something like that. I have couple of people I know, they did that.
The problem is the PTV has a mindset. Okay, they are not getting out of that mindset. The problem is they always start their normal bulletin from like in the past 60 years back, they will start from Prime Minister. The next turn is
from Prime Minister
to President,
Prime Minister, then Chief
of Army Staff. Yes,
Chief of Army. Don't
Chief of Army Staff.
Chief of Army Staff.
Then Chief Minister Punjab. Then Chief Minister KP, and then Sindh, and then Balochistan, then Gilgit-Baltistan.
They need to understand world. PTV world means world is watching, and world is not interested in that thing.
Of course not. You know, let me explain. BBC is a state-owned TV channel, same like a PTV. They have an independent body. They are working entirely independently, independent policies. So look, BBC, where BBC is standing, like. Number 2, ZDF of Germany is the top TV channel of Germany, more popular than DWTV, by the way. ZDF is a state owned or public TV channel. So entire world, public TV channel is more popular. People are watching them, and they are getting fund from the state. Simply, the state is still providing a hell lot of funds, but the problem is that those who are running the entire affair, they have their own fear of job, because they are getting instruction from the information minister, from secretary information, from other people, from the government. Do this and don't do this. So if you are working under do and don't, so you cannot work or you cannot do proper journalism or do justice to journalism. So this is what happening with the PTV world, by the way.
And very, very important thing, you know, we already know that the only people who can run these kind of channels, English channels, that's the state. Only state can run. And Shafiq Sahab, you have a great experience working for English channels. You've been working for Indian English channels, you've been working for international news agencies, you've been working for international channels as well, and you've been working for Pakistan's Indus News as well. What I wanted to ask you is, you very well know that every channel has an agenda, and that agenda, what they do is, if they have 10 things, then 9 things they would keep as it is, as the reality is of the world. The only one thing would be of agenda, and I think that's how the world is working. That's how BBC gets trust throughout the world.
Yes, of course.
Al Jazeera gets trust throughout the world.
You have to develop the credibility first.
Exactly.
If you are credible, so if you have a propaganda stuff like for 4-5% in the entire narrative, then that is acceptable. But you have entire just propaganda stuff or fake news, nobody trusts you, because nobody is going to.
It's like India. I'm not saying that they are throughout speaking lies. I mean, there are certain stories they can't lie about. If it's a plane crash, it is a plane crash.
It is a plane
you
crash.
Can't call it a ship.
Look. Let me give you some technical names, like the viewer, they must know about it. Like giving a tilting or giving some narrative or doing some story from particular angle, that is called editorial policy. A very sweet name, a very good name for
very sophisticated one.
Sophisticated name for twisting the fact. It is called editorial policy. So every newspaper and every TV channel, they have their own editorial policy. Number one. Number two, people must know that TV journalism is very, very easy, by the way. Like for twisting the fact. Like for example, if somebody tell me, please do a story that Nawaz Sharif is the best leader in Pakistan, I can do it by talking to the people. I know how to do it. Like 50% will speak against him, 50% in favor of Nawaz Sharif. So what I will do, I will cut all those clips which are against Nawaz Sharif, so I will portray the picture like he's the top leader in Pakistan. But if somebody...
But people won't believe you. People would only believe you if out of 100 clips you have, if you take 50 of his favor and 10 people who are against him. That's how people would be attracted towards you.
Yes, I mean these are called techniques, journalistic techniques. But the question, my issue is that for technique you need a particular frame or a design, how you are designing the entire 24 hours for the TV channel. So you must know how to do it. Unfortunately, those who are heading these TV channels, unfortunately, they may be a good professional, but they are unable to deliver, by the way, unfortunately.
Once again, I mean, people who are heading these sort of places, you very well know where do they come from. And how did they drop there?
They are paratroopers, by the way.
Oh yes, yeah. We call it in Punjabi chhata bardar.
Chhata bardar.
So these are the problems, and I think unless Pakistan fixes these problems, it would not be possible for Pakistan to go ahead or compete. If not compete, at least counter.
Of course, like they must have a counter narrative, like silence is nothing. Like if there is some narrative coming from the outside, like I know the American TV channels, the BBC, they have the anti-Pakistan, sometimes the story. but you must have a proper counter narrative.
It's like Press TV, TRT, Al
They are doing it.
Jazeera,
They are doing it.
RT.
All of them are doing
have
it.
excellent way of countering. As soon as they get a story on the table, they check for the angles.
Yes.
Which is the weakest angle they can penetrate in.
They can penetrate.
And
Yes, that
they
is
do
true.
it.
They are doing it.
They are doing it, and they very well know
But
that it's
but
very easy for
it's
them.
very easy because it need a professionalism. The problem
Exactly.
is we don't have a professional. Like I'm telling a people, like I don't want to name anyone, but if a journalist, if you talk to him, a particular journalist I'm talking about, and if you talk to him that how did you start your career, he will say, I started my career as an editor. So then you will surprised to know a person, if he is starting his career as an editor, it means that he is nothing.
True.
Like journalists are those who start their career from the scratch.
And such people, if you ask them about their contribution to the journalism,
Nothing.
it's nothing. They might say, "Oh, yes, I did that or this."
It's
but
all.
you
It's
go
all
on.
lie. It's all lie.
But you go on worldwide websites, put in the Google his name or something like that, nothing would appear.
Yes.
You
Like
know?
I have some journalists who are exceptionally very good in Pakistan. They're very good, and all of them started from the scratch, writing from the reporting, trainee reporting, then newsroom, then they got elevation time to time.
People like Rauf Klasra and these sort of people.
No, I can talk about West Tawheed. I like West.
Oh yes,
yes.
oh yes.
He's a good.
West.
He's a good human being. OT is amazing.
I think he is an example for everyone.
I can give you another name like Ismail Khan. He's the editor north of Dawn newspaper. He started from the scratch from the news, and then he got elevation, and now he's an editor. I can speak about Ilyas Khan, who is the BBC English regional head. He started from the scratch, and he's a very good writer. But they are the typical a very good journalist. They are still a very good writer.
Yeah.
They have no problem at all. They are professionally very sound. But the problem is that all those who are paratroopers grab the top position in a TV channel without knowing anything about journalism, they are actually harming the media industry. They are the big problem.
That's very true, and this is what we had for today. Once again, we would endorse that if Pakistan is seriously, thinking about countering the narratives and thinking about fighting hybrid warfare, then Pakistan has to have at least one state-run, fully state-run channel which is properly run by the state. When we say properly run, that means that they have to have very good people, professional people. Moreover, on the international scene, what they have to do is they have to select people through a proper exam, and not through like political people who are sending someone, or
Currently working by the way,
if some ex-general or existing general is talking about somebody, oh yeah, you can take this guy and that's it, send him. No, it should be done on the merit basis. At least 7 people, they should be hired for international arena. When I say international arena, I mean that for EU there should be a person born and
Brussels is
born.
important. Yes.
Then
Paris,
London,
New York,
Moscow,
yes,
New York, and Beijing. These are the countries and these are the capitals which are very important for Pakistan. And I think if Pakistan really wants the PTV world to become a success, this is the only way they can do it through. Otherwise, it is just like they'll be charging every one of you 100 rupees per month, and that money would be wasted like anything. Take care of yourself and do think about it. Thank you.
Thank you.